So SoFi is one of those companies that is changing on how we do banking in today's world, and market is taking a notice. Now, I know this information has been out for a while, but even then, there is no reliable one source to get this information correctly. And that is exactly what we are trying to do today in this video. So we'll look at the latest 13F from various sources and try and make sense of where the money is flowing, actually which money is flowing into SoFi. The stock market has been all over the place in the last few days. One day stock market is crashing, the next day we are all green and all across, but then we get a tweet that tanks the market again. So in all of this, we have to keep an eye on the big money, because I'm sure you guys agree with me that there are opportunities all over the place. And when we have institutions like money or big money like institutions, then you have to be selective and be careful as you want to get the maximum return for your clients at minimum risk. So let's start looking at few charts and make sense of it all. Now, if you remember back in November of 2021, when SoFi offered shares, when Softbank, Chamath, and many others sold millions of shares, I remember as SoFi came under so much pressure because SoFi was doing really well days before, and when SoFi announced that they will be offering shares, and then all of a sudden millions of shares were sold, SoFi's stock price just plummeted. But just few days ago, we got a news that Softbank has 15% stake in SoFi. So what do you make from all this? Well, let's find out. So if you go to NASDAQ and if you look at SoFi's institution holding right here, you see that they are claiming around 50.84% institution holding. Now, if you just go to market beat and if you look at the data over here, they're saying it's about 45.8% institutional holding right here as a percentage. And if you notice over here, they are saying that in Q4 we have about 320 million bought and 136 million sold in dollar terms. Okay, so now if you see here, I'm going to actually show you, this is the Softbank news that came out that SoFi or Softbank holds about 15% stake in SoFi. Now this is the 13F of Softbank, not SoFi. So it has all the holdings of Softbank. If you pay attention, SoFi stock is their number 2 holding, about 14.59% or about 15% stake in the company. Now, if you pay attention over here, overall SoFi's stake in Softbank's portfolio is about 17.65%. So of course they hold 15% stake in SoFi, but their percentage of portfolio is about 17.6%. This is where it gets interesting. If you pay attention, they have about 117.80 million shares in SoFi. And now if you pay attention to the dollar terms, this is their second biggest holding. The first one is T-Mobile, and then they have SoFi, and then they have Lemonade. And if you pay attention, $1.8 billion right here in SoFi, $7 billion in T-Mobile. And if you notice that their market value has changed and it has reduced by about $8.24 million. Now, if you look over here, because this is their second biggest holding, that's why they have about 17.6% of total portfolio is of SoFi. It's a big holding for a bank. Now, I'm going to actually take you from here. We will go into the SoFi's institution holding. This is all SoFi's institution holding in one place. But pay attention to this. As per Bloomberg, SoFi's current number of shares held is about 39.24%, which has increased about 7.87% from previous, which was December 26th of 2021. So as per Bloomberg, right now, institutional holdings is about 39.24%, while the NASDAQ is calling for 50% and market beat is calling for 45%. And you can see that it's all over the place. But there is one thing I would like to bring your attention to. Look at Softbank. Softbank is number 1 institution holder of SoFi stock. They have about 117,795,000 shares of SoFi. It's blurry, but you can see. In Q2 of 2021, in Q3 of 2021, they had the same number of shares. And in Q4 of 2021, they have the same number of shares. So they started their position in Q2 of 2021, as you can see. So the green is when they're starting a position, yellow means there is no change, and red means they sold out. This is the color theme here. So if you pay attention over here, they have 117 million shares in SoFi, which is exactly the same they had in Q2 and Q3, as per Bloomberg. So the shares that they offered or they sold in November, if you go Google Softbank, SoFi in November, you will see all the news articles that SoFi sold stake. Looks like they bought it right back before the end of the year. Now, if you pay attention, there are other institutional holders. The second one is, of course, the Chamath's Delaware Project LLC, where they have all these partners together. They sold out few millions of shares of SoFi. In Q3, they had 117 million shares, and now in Q4, they have about 95 million shares. If you pay attention here, Vanguard actually increased from 47 million to about 53 million over here. There are few that have decreased. So if you Red Row Capital, T. Rowe Price, and Silver Lake, all three of them have actually reduced their holding. Right here, all three of them have actually reduced their holding. They were holding a lot more shares in Q2 or Q3 of 2021, and now they're holding less. But what is really exciting is that we have a lot of institutions, those who have started their position or increased their position in SoFi in Q4 of 2021. So if you pay attention, all the green is that they added to the position. Red is they reduced, and then if you see a blank, that means they don't have a position. So pay attention to this right here. This right here, Geode Capital Management LLC, right here you can see they had no position. Actually, no, not this one. Artisan right here, Partners Limited, they had no positions in Q2, Q3, but now they started a position with about 6.9 million shares. Same thing over here, they started a position with about 4.6 million shares. And then rest of them, there are a few others that are brand new, but rest of them have actually increased their position in SoFi. Some of them all the way going to 358,000 shares to about 4.3 million shares. So that's a massive add and massive buys. But if you look at Softbank, that the news that came out, they basically hold the same number of shares as they did back in Q2 of 2021, Q3 of 2021, and now Q4 of 2021. Now, again, I don't know how true is this, because this is combining all the 13 Fs, because we are getting some different information right here. If you see that we have about 50%, but as per Bloomberg, right now the institutional ownership is about 39.24%. Okay, so if you pay attention to this chart over here, we have total number of institutions about 500. They have increased 35.87% as compared to December of 2021 to now. So again, this is really, really exciting, because we are now seeing more and more institutions piling their money, almost 500 institutions piling their money in SoFi. Now, number of buyers have been 56.14%, but look at number of sellers. They have also doubled. So again, I'm not saying that everybody is coming in. There are few sellers as well because of the market conditions. They have to rebalance their portfolios. Then number of new buyers, about 211.73%. Number of sell-offs, 14%. Change in institutional position, 126.59 total number of institutions that have added more, around 73.71%. So this is very bullish. For SoFi stock, this right here is very bullish, because this shows that more and more institutions have more faith in SoFi. Okay, so SoFi is a digital banking name that is slowly gripping the foothold with deep roots in this fintech industry. And we will see some amazing partnership that will come out of this. And one of those partnerships was announced back in September last year with MasterCard. Let me know in the comments below if you already know about it, so I don't bore you with another video, or if you would like me to make a video on that, because that partnership will blossom in 2022, and I think very soon. So please let me know in the comments below. And also let me know if you guys would like me to make any stock specific video where you think we have extreme value right now. And if we have a common ticker, then we'll start following that stock on this channel. I hope I provided some value. For more one-on-one conversation, please join our Discord and Patreon. Links are in the description below. As always, a pleasure to share all of this with you. Until next time, you all have a sparkling day.